I'm Mrs. Ramirez, and I've always encouraged my students to express themselves through their creations in my art classes. Art is supposed to be a window to the soul, after all. But what happened in my class went beyond any artistic expression I'd ever witnessed. It all started on a gloomy Tuesday morning. The kids were buzzing with excitement, eager to dive into a new project. I handed them their blank canvases and told them to paint whatever they felt, to let their innermost thoughts and emotions flow onto the canvas. Little did I know that this simple instruction would lead us into a nightmarish ordeal. The first sign that something was amiss appeared when Tommy, a normally cheerful and outgoing boy, started to paint. His brushstrokes were erratic and aggressive, and soon the canvas was filled with twisted, grotesque figures. I thought it might be a one-time thing, a mere artistic experiment. But I couldn't have been more wrong. As the days went by, my students' paintings grew increasingly disturbing and nightmarish. What they were creating was beyond the realm of imagination. Sarah, a shy girl who always painted flowers and butterflies, was now crafting scenes of blood and despair. Mark, usually known for his landscapes, began creating images of torment and chaos. It was as if a malevolent force had descended upon our classroom. I tried to talk to the children, to understand what had come over them. But when I looked into their eyes, I saw something I couldn't comprehend. Their gazes were vacant, as if their souls had been replaced by something dark and sinister. It sent shivers down my spine. One afternoon, I decided to stay late after class to examine the paintings in more detail. I couldn't make sense of the disturbing symbolism that had invaded my students' work. There were grotesque, misshapen creatures, tormenting faces, and surreal landscapes that seemed to come straight from the depths of hell. I began to feel that something in the classroom itself was amiss. It was as if the very air was charged with an ominous energy. When I looked at the paintings, I felt a presence, an inexplicable malevolence that seemed to reach out and grab hold of me. I turned to my dear friend, Father Michael, who was a priest in our community. I explained the strange events that had unfolded in my art class. He listened intently, his face growing serious. After a brief prayer, Father Michael decided to visit the classroom with me. As we stepped into the room, he immediately sensed the darkness that had taken hold. He began to recite prayers, trying to drive away whatever evil had possessed my students. The paintings began to twist, the air grew heavy, and I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The children, who had been expressionless, now convulsed and cried out in pain. The room seemed to shake, and Father Michael and I were forced to leave. I never saw my students again. The school was shut down, and the paintings were sealed away in a dark, hidden corner. The events in that small art class still haunt me. I often wonder what it was that took hold of those innocent children, and if it's still lurking, waiting for the right moment to return. So, there you have it, the chilling tale of how a simple art class turned into a descent into darkness, with evil forces manifesting through the innocent brush strokes of my students. It's a story that still sends shivers down my spine, and a memory that I wish I could erase from my mind forever.
Subscribe for more videos.